This is my presentation on Solitary Wandering in Tracks by Robyn Davidson. In Essay 2, I will be exploring the theme of self-reliance and Robyn's insistence on independence throughout her journey. This is my provisional sketch map. It shows how I viewed Robyn's journey throughout the story as a graph of her confidence in herself over time. A recurring theme I noted throughout the novel is Robyn's self-reliance. She wants to take the trip independently, but beyond just the aloneness or having ultimate control over her trip, she wants to do it by herself. And here are some questions I will explore with this theme in Essay 2 and in this passage analysis, especially how does Robyn's journey affect her character over time, and why does Robyn insist on doing the trek on her own? And I used some of these questions to guide my thinking for the analysis of this passage. So here's the passage I chose for this presentation from page 197, which is in part 3 of Tracks. I had given myself the structures of habit and routine with which to fortify myself, and these were very necessary at the time. Because if you are fragmented and uncertain, it is terrifying to find the boundaries of yourself melt. So here's some context for what's going on at this time in the novel. Robyn has just left the last civilization and the last people she would see for a long time. And she's also being forced to face the struggles of survival for the first time on her journey because she's about to take off across the Gibson Desert. And basically, she's just doubting herself. She has to face her own shortcomings. And she also wants to show how what she was expecting out of her journey is different from what she actually noticed changed in her person and in her character throughout this particular stretch of independent travel. So going back to the passage, here are some keywords that stuck out to me when analyzing the meaning behind this quote, which I will elaborate on in a second. So this quote has a lot of deeper meaning that shows the significance of this period in Robyn's overall journey. She describes how the beginning part of her journey and all the preparation for this point in the walk, which is her first real solitary stretch, helped shape her outlook on the rest of the trip. And despite her original doubts and the skepticism about her journey, the nature of her journey brought out the best in her. She was forced to be completely responsible and self-reliant on her knowledge, on her survival skills, the relationship with her camels, and the route itself. And in doing so, she felt greatly impacted, like in her character, and she felt melted down to the barest version of herself. So going back to the wording she used, fragmented and uncertain reflects the extent to which her walk pushed her and how broken she felt at times, as well as the disappointment that she felt in herself. However, her adaptation and adjustment to the solitude, which occurs during this passage and afterwards, reflects her later overall success. She also uses the word terrifying, which shows her overall fear of commitment and being on her own, and her fear of aloneness, which is a theme that we see a lot throughout the story as well. But this contrasts with her later euphoria of facing the wild on her own and becoming one with her environment. And at this point, Robyn holds sole responsibility and accountability, which is something that she craves throughout the novel, but also acknowledges that she fears, and the weight of her actions is what's pressuring her. But it's also what affects the outcome of her trip. And that's all. Thank you.